Hey there, everyone. Welcome to episode 825 of the Mike from Maine show, the place where we do daily interviews with successful online entrepreneurs. This is your host, Mike Thomas, and today on the show, it's a special show. We have Brett Rutecki on, and we're going to be talking about a piece of software called Mail It that we are launching together on Friday, August 19th. That's going to go live at 11 a.m. Eastern. This is something that we're really proud of. It's a tool that Brett's been using in his own business to get amazing results, amazing open rates, clicks, no more paying for monthly fees for your email services, all that exciting stuff and more. Let's get into it. Here's Brett. We are here today with Brett Rutecki. Brett, welcome back to the show.
Hey, Mike, it's been a while, but I'm glad to be here with you.
It's been a while, and I'm not going to beat around the bush today. I'm not going to. I want to be really upfront with all of this, as I know you do as well. We're here to talk about a product that we're going to actually be launching together called Mail It, and there's been a lot of buzz about it. It's probably one of the biggest buzz products that I've been involved with in a while. Everyone wants to get their hands on it. They're asking when it's going to come out, but we will be launching this together. But what I want to get into, Brett, is there's a really neat story behind all of this. The whole reason why this came about, it's not one of those products that it's like put out a product and sell it, and then the person who's creating it isn't actually using it themselves, and they're just doing it to make money. This is something that I know you had a big reason for in your business. So bring us into this. Tell us what this is all about and why you created it.
Well, when I first started into the internet marketing business, it was late 2013. Honestly, I didn't really have that much money. I had some cash flow coming. I was doing freelancing work. I was making a decent living, but I didn't have a ton of money to invest. And I knew I needed a way to send emails. I knew early on that how important email was, and I understood that email really is sounds melodramatic, but it's like the lifeblood of the IM business. It really is. It's the lifeblood of the IM business. So I needed a way to send out emails. And I started off with Mailchimp. And the reason I started off with Mailchimp is because they have this plan called Free Forever. So if you have less than 2,000 subscribers and you send out less than 12,000 emails per month, then it's free to use Mailchimp. Now, of course, they put their little logo at the bottom of all your emails, powered by Mailchimp, but I didn't care. I just needed a way to send out emails, and I didn't have any money. So I was using Mailchimp. That's what I initially started using, and I was doing pretty well with them. I was, building up my list, and everything was going well. After a couple of months, I actually got past the point where I had a bigger list than 2,000, and I was sending out more than 12,000 emails a month, so I started to have to pay for it. But at that point, I didn't mind because I had a list, and I was sending emails, and I was making some money, so I didn't mind paying. And I was like, this is great. I'm doing this. And then one day, just out of nowhere, I went to log into my account, and it said Omnivore has detected something. And apparently Omnivore is like their automated system, like their robot that scans your emails. And it just detected something wrong with one of my emails.
It sounds pretty scary, actually. Omnivore isn't that something that eats everything? It eats both meat and vegetables. So it doesn't sound pleasant.
Yeah, I was saying, I actually sent them an email, and I said that exact same thing, too. I was like, Omnivore is the perfect name because it's blocking good emails and bad emails. Yeah. It's eating it all,
True.
So anyway, for some reason, though, I did something. I triggered their automated system, and it said that I couldn't send out any emails. My account was suspended, and I had to contact them in order to try to get my account live again. Now, Mailchimp doesn't have any phone support at all. There's no phone support. The only way to contact them is through email. So I sent them an email, and I kind of chastised them a little bit about the whole Omnivore thing. And I said, look, guys, my bounces are low. My clicks are good. Customers are not unsubscribing. There's no spam complaints. I don't know what's wrong with your automated system, but obviously I'm not doing anything wrong. Can you please turn my account back on? And the answer that I got was really interesting. I didn't get any. They never answered me.
They didn't even answer me. You were a paying customer.
Yeah, no, they shut my account down. I wasn't paying anymore at that point, but prior to that, I was a paying customer. I never actually got an answer from them. And that was it. I was done. I was out of business. I
Did you
can't
do
send
anything
emails.
sketchy? Like, were you emailing like 5 times a day, or did you go out there and like scrape emails? And you can tell us, Brett. We won't tell anyone.
Honestly, thinking about it, the thing that I think I did wrong, because at the time I was doing my own JV management, my own, managing my own affiliates. The thing that I think I did wrong was I emailed my JVs and I said, "Here's where you get your links," and I linked to JVZoo.
Because
So
a lot of people will send out spammers will want to make money for affiliate promotions and whatnot. They'll spam out those links. They thought you were a spammer, and then they didn't want to talk to you again.
that's right, but it wasn't a JVZoo affiliate link. It was just a JVZoo link to the JVZoo website, so people can get their affiliate link, so affiliates can get their links. But they were that. I think that's the only thing I could think of. And in all fairness, I think that's what I did wrong. But it shows like how quick they were to just ditch me, just done. We don't want to talk to you anymore. No explanation, just done. You're done. And that was it. It put me out of business. Like I built up this list, and I was completely out of business. Now, fortunately, I had been backing up my email list. Every once in a while, I knew how important it was, and I knew I needed to back it up. So I was backing up my email list. So I still had my email list. I just didn't have a way to send out emails. So I started looking around and starting to think of like, how am I going to send out these emails? The first place I actually tried was was it Constant Contact? No, Get Response. I'm sorry. Get Response was the first one that I tried. I'm sorry. This was like 2 years ago. This all happened. I tried Get Response first, and they didn't let me upload my list at all. So I couldn't upload my list. I actually ended up calling them and canceling my account. They wouldn't let me upload my list. And then I'm still looking around. I'm trying to find a place to upload my list so I can finally send out some emails again. And around that time was when Aweber started allowing list imports. For a long time, they didn't allow list imports. And then around that time is when Aweber started to allow it. So that led me directly to Aweber. So I was like, I got to use Aweber. I got to upload my list. Otherwise, I'm starting all over from scratch, So I signed up for Aweber. I got an account with them. I uploaded my list. They filtered out probably about 25 to 30% of my list. I don't know why. They just said these people cannot be added. I know you've used Aweber before. I'm sure you've experienced
I've done a lot of importing with them, and when you put your subscribers in there, even people, and I've checked it, because what I've done is I've done importing, and I'll import people and say like these people aren't allowed. There's like no reason why. They just say like these people we're not allowing you to import them. And I've actually taken the email and searched in my Gmail inbox, because the way I deliver my bonuses is that people actually email me for their bonuses, so I can check and see, okay, and this was before affiliate tracks, before our other software that we launched, where I could actually see who bought. But I would search for it, and these were people who had actually spent money with me and were opening my emails, and now I couldn't contact them. Same as you.
That's what happened to me. So I had like, I don't know, 3,500, 4,000. I uploaded it. I ended up getting like 3,000 left that were still like able to be put into Aweber. I considered calling them, because Aweber does have phone support. I considered calling them to complain, but honestly, I didn't want to rock the boat, because I was like, at least I'm still in business. Maybe at least I'm still able to send out emails now. Maybe I don't want to rock the boat and complain, because if they ditch me, I'm screwed.
It's scary sometimes. Like I'm afraid of being banned from those places, because you never know. Like, you had already experienced it with Mailchimp, and they can just say, sorry, we don't like what you're doing, we don't like affiliate marketing, we don't like this, and you're gone. So yeah, I understand why you were a little bit hesitant about that.
Right, especially after going through with Mailchimp and seeing how picky they were, and how like you just touch it with a needle and it's like, bam, you're done. So I didn't want to rock the boat with them. I was happy to just have my list uploaded, and I went back to business, started doing things like I always did, building up my list, building up my reputation, making money as an affiliate marketer. Everything was going well for like a year. For about a year, everything was fine. I built my list up to a little over 9,000 subscribers. I was making good money. I started becoming one of the well-known affiliate marketers. I'm all happy. And then all of a sudden, just like out of nowhere, like my bounce rate, it went from, you're always going to get bounces. When you're sending out an email, when you're sending out thousands of emails, you're always going to get bounces. People have full inboxes, or they're away, or, they change their email, they close their account. You're always going to get bounces. But all of a sudden it jumped from like 20 bounces in email to like 200 bounces in email, 300 bounces in email.
I remember that.
And I didn't know what was going on. So, Aweber has phone support, and they're actually right here in Pennsylvania too, same as I am. So I called them up, and I was like, hey, what's going on here? What am I doing wrong? And they basically, I won't get into a lot of detail with the tech stuff, but basically what they told me was that one of their IP addresses ended up on a blacklist. So there's these companies called the Spam Cannibal is one, Spam Cop is one, UPC Protect is one. There's all these companies that keep blacklists of spam email spam IP addresses. So that way, the ISPs, the email companies, can look in that blacklist and say, oh, this email came from that IP address. We're not going to allow that email to come through. Well, one of their IP addresses ended up on a blacklist. Now, generally speaking, that's going to happen because somebody was abusing the Aweber system. Mm-hmm. So what they do is they get rid of that bad user. They contact the ISP, the blacklist companies. They get their IP removed, and everything's good again. And that's what happened. So they got rid of the bad user. Everything was good, and my bounces went down. And then they went back up again. And then they went down. And it's just like this roller coaster. Like every time I would send out an email, it's like, is this going to be a time when Aweber's having problems? Is this going to be a time when I'm going to get a huge bunch of bounces? Because I couldn't help but think to myself, not only by getting these bounces, not only am I, not getting sales, but I'm also losing touch with those people. These are people that aren't hearing from me for a while. So I'm losing touch with them. It's overall bad to have these bounces. And it was just over and over again. I was getting, sometimes it was good, sometimes it was bad, and it was going back and forth like that for a couple of months. And then at one point, things just, I don't know any nicer way to say it, Mike, but the shit hit the fan, okay?
I remember when you were wigging out, and we were talking about this, and you were worried, seriously worried, that, email marketing was ending, that our whole business model of making money as affiliate marketers and product creators, we weren't going to have this whole channel of email marketing anymore. You were wigging out a little bit about it.
I was afraid at one point to send out an email because every email I'd send, every new email would be the new worst email. It would be the new most bounces or the new least opens or the new least clicks. And I thought I was going out of business. I'm I'm losing my business. I'm going out of business here. I'm telling people that I know that I'm going out of business here. Nobody's opening my emails. They're bouncing. It's done. And I'm thinking it was a nice run, but I guess maybe it's time to do something else, But, it occurred to me then, I started thinking to myself, the problem that I'm having here, all of the problems that I've had with getting banned from Mailchimp, with people telling me I can't upload my list, the bounces, all of these problems all centered around one thing. And the thing that it centered around was that I was depending on somebody else. I was always completely dependent on somebody else. And I realized email is the absolute most important aspect of my business. Without email, I'm out of business. And what do? I take that most important aspect and I put it in the hands of somebody else and say, please don't screw me over. That just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense.
It's a huge vulnerability there, and you're hoping and praying that they're not going to think with the first company that you were with, with Mailchimp. They were essentially, what they were trying to do is because of their omnivore detection system, they were trying to automatically just discover that you were a bad guy and get you out of there so that they didn't have someone messing up their IPs. But unfortunately, they didn't care enough to actually review and see that you are actually not doing something bad there. Mm-hmm. So they were in their defense there. They were trying to protect their IPs, which is good. But of course, you got the bad end of the stick on that one. So what did you do? What was your next step with this?
So the only logical step is to not depend on a third-party company. I knew how to send out emails. I knew how to send out emails with PHP. I knew how to do that for quite a while. But I never knew how to send out mass emails. I never knew how to format them correctly. I never knew how to format them for mass mailing. So the next thing that I did, the next step, was to start reading RFC guidelines. Start reading emailing rules, start reading formatting rules, start reading all of the things that I needed to do and needed to learn in order to be able to send out mass emails efficiently. And that's honestly where a lot of my time was spent with MailIt, was reading the regulations, reading the rules, and reading the proper way to send out these emails. Once I read that, and once I understood the rules and understood the things like the SPF verification, the DKMI verification, all of that, once I learned all that, I was then able to start creating a system to send out emails from my own server. And that's the key thing from my own server. A lot of people have created systems in the past that would use what's called an SMTP relay. That's where basically you send your email to somebody else and then they send it out for you.
And that's kind of like big ones that come to mind here are places like I think SendGrid does things like that, or Amazon SES, or there's a bunch of them out there that people talk about being good, but I personally have been banned by those places by trying to send out. Like I went on there and I was doing well and getting a good open rate for a couple weeks, and then I got an email saying bye bye.
Well, that's the thing. That's why I didn't want to create a system. That's why I spent all this time learning the regulations, because I didn't want to create a system that used one of those relays, because that's no different than using an autoresponder. I'm still dependent on the good graces of a third party. What I wanted was to be completely self-sufficient, so I don't have my business in somebody else's hand, and that's when I started creating my Mailer plugin. I read all the regulations, I followed the rules, and I created a WordPress plugin. And the reason I chose a WordPress plugin is because my blog is a WordPress blog. So I created a WordPress plugin that would allow me to send emails from my own server, not dependent on somebody else. This way, I don't have... I almost experienced the two ends of the spectrum. I experienced Mailchimp, who was so picky and so careful that they kicked me off even when I didn't do anything wrong. And I experienced Aweber that might not have been picky and careful enough, and I got a bunch of bounces because of somebody else. So I didn't want to have to deal with that anymore, and that's why I created the Mailchimp software, so that way I can send out my emails from my own server, not relying on anybody else. So that way, as long as I'm not doing anything wrong, as long as I'm not a spammer, I don't have anything to worry about.
A lot of people say that if you try to mail from your own IP, if you try to set up your own email, like you're not a big company, you're not someone like Aweber, GetResponse, Mailchimp, Infusionsoft, Entreport, all these different places, your mails are not going to go into the inbox. They're all gonna bounce. They're gonna go to spam. You're going to I don't know. It's just not. It's not going to work. Like there's lots of things that people say when it comes to email marketing.
Yeah, people say that, and honestly, initially those things that people were saying was what gave me a little bit of trepidation about building my own system, because I was like, you know what, I'm going to spend all this time building this and learning these rules, and it's not going to work anyway because everybody says it's not going to work. And I started thinking about it. I'm like, you know what? Everybody says a lot of things. So the only way to really find out is to just build a system and test it and see if it works. And if it doesn't work, well, I'm a computer nerd anyway. What the heck? I spend some time building the software. If it does, I'm better. So that's what I did. I built it and I started testing it. I started testing it with my own list. Now, I didn't upload my entire list at first. I have, about almost 11,000 at this point. I didn't upload my entire list at first because it occurred to me that it doesn't make a lot of sense to the ISPs. One day my server's sending no emails. The next day it's sending 11,000. I figured that might be a red flag. So what I did was initially I sent out a couple of hundred, then I sent out a couple of thousand, and then eventually I sent out my entire list. And then eventually I deleted my Aweber account and then just started sending completely with my Mail It plugin. I'm at the point now where I've sent over 300,000 emails with my own plugin, all marketing emails, all emails for affiliate promotions. I've gotten over 123,000 opens on those emails, and I still have an excellent sender score. I still have an excellent rating.
I think one of the biggest things, and it's one of the reasons why I wanted to make sure everyone knew that you and I were launching this together, because I know a lot of the behind the scenes on this. When you decided to delete your email list from one of the big guys here, excuse me, that was like, wow, for me and I think for a lot of people that were paying attention to it, it showed that you believed in your system enough that you were willing to put all your eggs in one basket. Where really you put all of them in there. Do you still feel like it's been, how long has it been since you've done that?
It's been a little over 3 months now.
And everything's still working fine. Everything's still you're getting opens, you're getting clicks.
Yeah, I actually sent out a marketing email with Mail It this morning, and when we get to it, if you want, I'll show it to you. But yeah, I'm still getting opens, I'm still getting clicks, and anybody who follows the IM space, I'm still on leaderboards. I'm still winning prizes. I'm still doing well in affiliate marketing. I'm still selling my own products. Everything is perfectly fine. I haven't heard anything, so I think that that whole stigmata of like, oh, if you send from your own IP address or you send from your own system, you're going to get blacklisted, you're going to get banned right away. The question that I have for those people is, when did that happen to you? Because when I did it, it didn't happen to me. So I think maybe that's just like one of those things that people say because people say it.
Bring us in, Brett. Let's take a look under the hood with Mail It.
All right, let me go ahead and share my screen with you here. It's been so long since I did an interview, I can't remember how to share my screen.
Find the plus button.
There we go. You should be able to see it here.
1 sec, it's coming. I'll let you know. We got it.
All right, so this is the Mail It plugin. And when you log in, you're going to see statistics based on your current activity, your new subscribers, your unsubscribers, your bounces. You're also going to be able to see the statistics for the last email you just sent out. As I said, I sent out one this morning. It went out at 9 o'clock. So far, I've got 767 opens, 386 clicks, and I got 10 unsubscribes. You're always going to get some unsubscribes. In here, you can see my total subscribers that I have on this in the system is 11,246. That's based over 5 lists. I've sent out 32 total messages in the last 3 months, and I've gotten 123,738 opens in the messages that I've sent out. So let me go over and show you some of my statistics, though. I'll go over here to messages, and we can see some of my overall statistics. You can see this last one that I just sent out this morning is my Doodly review. Anybody that's in the space knows Doodly just launched this morning to a lot of fanfare. I send out my review to it. I go ahead and click on the statistics for it here. Oh, actually, look, I hadn't refreshed the screen, so I got more opens. So far, in less than, 3 hours, I'm already at an 8% open rate. Now, there's a lot of people out there that only get an 8% open rate overall. I'm at 8% in 3 hours. By this time tomorrow morning, I'll be closer to around a 20% open rate.
Wow, that's really good.
We'll go ahead and look at some of the other ones here. This is one I actually did for an internal promo. It's Protect You Need This Period. I did this. This was not an affiliate product. This was an internal promo. If we go ahead and click on it, though, you can see I sent 10,875 emails. I got 2,659 opens. That's a 24% open rate. I got 11% click rate.
It's incredible. Like 11%, for one thing, getting an 11% open rate is really good. It's unheard of to get an 11% click rate.
Yeah, now we're going to go here. Here's one for text response, which was an affiliate promotion. We'll go ahead and click on it. This was actually, believe it or not, was one of my worst products. One of my worst emails. I didn't get a lot of interest in this particular product. My customers weren't particularly interested in it. I only got an 18% open rate, and I only got an 8% click rate on this. But the thing is, I'm able to say only 18%. 18% is quite good, and I'm saying only 18%.
It's really good. I mean, I know there's going to be a lot of people watching that will understand that, but for those of you that don't, really, if you Google out there, I mean, a lot, I don't know what the average is right now. I'd say it's closer to 2 to 3% is probably, do you have any idea what the average is, Brett? Is it like 2 to 3% for opens and maybe 1% for click? I know it's going down every year. It keeps on going down.
Yeah, it's pretty low. It's pretty low. So, I mean, and the thing that's great about this is the fact that I'm getting these open rates. Now, let's be totally honest. Some of that, this one's 1,900 opens, 819 clicks. That was for WordPress commission machine. That was a review on request. That wasn't a normal review. The thing that's great about that I want everybody to keep in mind, though, and I want to be totally honest and upfront, though, is that my open rate does also relate to my relationship with my list. Mm-hmm. That is a factor in this. But the important thing to keep in mind is the fact that I'm getting these opens means that Mail It is doing its job. It's sending the emails and getting them in the inbox.
So it's not a magic button for someone that is spamming their list over and over and over and over again with no value at all, and they are thinking that they can just use Mail It and suddenly magically they're going to get a completely different result. That's not going to happen. But if you want to have something that's actually going to get your mails in the inbox, and if you have a good relationship, then it will work.
Yeah, I don't want anybody to think that if you're a spammer or you're a bad marketer or you're doing something that your list doesn't like, you're abusing these people. I don't want you to think that you're going to get the Mail It plugin and all of a sudden you're going to get these awesome open rates, because you might for an email or two. And then you're going to go back to where you started because you're abusing your list and you're not a good marketer. What I want everybody to realize, though, is if you're a decent marketer, if you're a good marketer, and you're only sending to people that actually want to get your emails, Mail It will get it in their inbox for you. And you don't have to worry about getting shut off for no reason at all.
Let me ask you about this. If you have a big email list and if you have a small email list, what are the differences between like the things that you'll need to get set up with this?
Now, if you have a small email list, you can probably send from a shared hosting, a $7 hosting. If you have a big email list, you're going to need to have a better hosting package. You're going to need either a VPS hosting or you're going to need a dedicated hosting. However, that shouldn't be a problem, because by the time you get a big email list, you should be making enough money that spending for a shared or a dedicated hosting or even a VPS hosting is nothing. It doesn't even matter. It's still cheaper than the autoresponders anyway. So I think Mail It is a great way for somebody just getting started, like I was years ago, who didn't have the money, but it's okay because I didn't have a big list, so I can get away with a shared hosting. And then for somebody that's more established, that doesn't want to have their business in the hands of a third party that can shut them down at any time, it's good to have for them as well. So it actually is going to be something that's going to appeal to both established marketers and new marketers, though it's going to appeal to them for slightly different reasons.
When you're ready, I'm interested. I see you have the tabs open. I want to see I want you to show me your sender scores. I'll let you continue on with that.
Okay, so for anybody that doesn't know, SenderScore is run by a company called SendPath, and what they basically do is they check IP addresses ratings. So they're one of those blacklist companies almost, and what they do is they keep a score based on the reputation of an IP address. So if an IP address has a bad reputation, SenderScore will track that, and then the email companies will ask SenderScore, okay, what's this IP address's rating? And then that will be used as a factor in deciding if an email from that IP address goes into the inbox or not. Now, like you were saying, there's this myth that if you send from your own server, all of a sudden you're going to get banned, you're going to get blacklisted, you're going to get screwed over, and it's never going to work. You have to use, a big name autoresponder because they have some kind of trick or secret. Well, here's my SenderScore right here. Let me open it up. I don't know if you can see it well enough. It might be kind of small, but you can see it says host name. bre.bretritechie.com. That is my host name. This is my IP address right here. You can see I'm registered as a high volume sender. That's because I send hundreds of thousands of emails from this server every month. And look at my sender score. It's 99 out of 100. Now, a perfect sender score, you can even see sender score tracking the emails that I just sent. Mm-hmm. A perfect sender score is 100. I have 99 out of 100, near perfect. Anything under 80 is considered a bad reputation. So I'm not only am I over the bad reputation threshold, but I'm just about perfect.
So they're looking at what you're doing and they're saying, okay, this guy he's a good guy. He's not spamming. He's not sending out emails to people that haven't signed up with him. And it's interesting. You can see there the sender score and the volume of emails there. I think a big mistake that a lot of people make is when they try to set up a self-hosted email like Mail It, they'll go out there and they'll just start blasting away with their email list without warming up their IP, without doing it like you were talking earlier about going in there and starting off slowly and going at it so that you're not just blasting away. Now, for people just starting out, that's not a problem because they have a small email list to begin with, and it's going to be a normal, gradual progression up there. But again, I want to give my own warning to people. If you've got a big email list, and there will be some people out there watching that have them, you got to go at it slowly so that they don't think that you're just like spamming.
Yeah, and if you're just getting started, like you said, it's going to be progressive, it's going to be natural and organic. But if you've got 10,000 people on your list and you're thinking you're going to go over to Mail It, yeah, do yourself a favor, warm it up a little bit, go a little slow, because it does make sense that there's going to be a red flag if you say, these guys are going to say, wait a minute, yesterday they had no emails, today they have 10,000. Where did they come from? Whereas if it's progressed up, slowly, they're going to say, oh, that's natural. People are subscribing. and that makes more sense. And the whole myth though about if you send out from if your own server, you're going to get blacklisted is obviously nonsense. I mean, you can see it right here. My server is not getting blacklisted. What I think happens, and I think where that myth came from, is you have spammers that have gotten kicked off of the autoresponders, and then they go and they get like a self-hosted system, and they continue to spam, and they say, "Oh yeah, it don't work."
Of course, yeah, of course it's not going to work. They don't have a relationship, and they're spamming.
Yes, it's not that it doesn't work. It's because you're continuing to spam. That's like me saying, "Oh man, I got a speeding ticket on my motorcycle. My bike is broken." If you don't follow the rules, you're not going to have problems. But if you do follow the rules, if you're a decent marketer, not spamming people, not abusing them, then they're not going to click that spam button. They're not going to click the reject button, and your sender score is going to be solid.
So MailIt, we've established here that for people that are not spammers, again, this isn't a spamming tool. This is a tool for actually like sending emails to people that want to get emails from you. This will actually work for you. I want to be completely transparent. I know you do too. Tell us a little bit about maybe what this doesn't do as far as like a traditional autoresponder might do.
Okay, so there's a couple of things that it doesn't do, and I'm going to be totally honest. And the majority of things that it doesn't do is because I didn't need them when I originally wrote this. The first thing that this doesn't do is when you create your emails, you cannot schedule your email. So you actually have to press the send button. So if I just go ahead and I create an email, and I won't make an email. I won't make you sit here and watch while I make an email. But if I make an email, there'll be a send button in here. It won't show the statistics, and it won't show the delete because it hasn't been sent. There are no statistics. Mm-hmm. Instead, it will show a send button, and you actually have to press that send button. So you cannot schedule your emails. That's one thing it doesn't do.
Okay, so you can press it, or if you have a virtual assistant or something, you can have them log into your account, and they can press it.
Somebody had actually asked me, and I'm such a direct person. I'm a very direct, like, in-your-face person. And somebody in my personal Facebook group said to me, he's like, "Oh, so I can't schedule emails?" And I'm like, "Look, you're right, you can't." And he goes, "I can't schedule my affiliate emails." That's what he said. Mm-hmm. And I was like, "You're right. You can't do that. You can't schedule your affiliate emails." I was like, "But here's the thing. If it's too much work for you to log into your account and press a button, then maybe you don't deserve those affiliate commissions anyway." Honestly.
Or if you can't, if it's that big of a problem, you can always get someone to do it for you. I mean, I think the point here with this is that the whole idea behind this isn't that it's going to be like there's platforms out there, really great softwares like Entreport or Infusionsoft that do like everything. You'll pay for it, but they do they got all kinds of tagging things and stuff and all these little bells and whistles, but that's not what you designed this for.
No, and honestly, one of the key things when I realized that this works, once I realized that this works, and I realized that sending from your own server not only makes business sense, but is also functionally a practical thing that you can do, I decided I wanted to make a system that I could sell. It makes no sense not to. I'm a software developer. I sell marketing tools. It makes no sense not to expand on what I was using on my own and make it a product that I could sell. Now, when I was making it a product that I could sell, one of the key things, one of the most important things for me was that it was very easy to use. Not only very easy to use, though, but also very easy to set up. I didn't want people to have any kind of like super tech server ability to set this up. So in order to have it be able to schedule emails, I would need to have people set up what's called a cron job. It's a server setting that sends out things at specific times. And I'm saying cron job and you're making an ugly face, and it sounds complicated even now. I'm going to tell you, cron is a pain for me to set up, and I'm a software developer. So I didn't want to have to require people to set up these cron jobs in order to use the system. So I decided, you know what, maybe it's more important to make it easy and have them actually press the button than to have the scheduling.
Is there anything else, Brett, that you wanted to show us inside of here? I mean, you showed us the tool, how easy it is to use, the results. You're obviously you've built this for your business. For anyone that's wondering if I'm using it as well, I've got a big list. I'm currently warming up my IP with it, and I've sent out thousands of emails as well with it. Anything else that you wanted to mention here as far as how it works or anything before we move on to talking about the one-time offers?
Yeah, besides, even though it doesn't have scheduling, it does have the other features that you would expect from an autoresponder. You might see a button here that says autoresponders. So it does actually allow you to send out an auto response. If I go here, you can see one of my lists is my Mail It early bird. You can actually see my Mail It beta testers list. I've had over 200 people test this for the last 3 months as well. That's one thing I always do. I test the heck out of my stuff before I sell it. But you can see my Mail It early bird. These are people that are signing up on a squeeze page to get notice when Mail It finally goes live. I have an auto response sent to go out. So every time they sign up, they also get an auto respond email sent from me. So why this doesn't have scheduling, it is an auto responder. It can send auto respond emails. You can see it will send the number sent, opened, and the number clicked. Not too many people are clicking it because the auto response that I send out says, thanks for signing up for the early bird. And here's a link to my blog, by the way. I just kind of threw that in there. So it does have autoresponders, and of course, it does have a way to get people on your list. Now, when you have subscribers, you can add them individually. You can upload subscribers. So if you have bulk subscribers, say, for example, if you're you're downloading your customers from JVZoo or somewhere, you can have your bulk subscribers. You can upload your subscribers in bulk, or you can add subscribers individually. And of course, it has forms. You need to be able to build an opt-in form. So if you go over here to the list section, you can see it will show all my lists, and I can go ahead and click on the link. And it will allow me to build this cool little opt-in form, nice and simple. I enter in my tags, change my settings, and then when I'm all done, I press the generate code button, and I get my form code. Then I can build my own opt-in form and put on my squeeze pages or in my blog or wherever I want to. So while it does lack the scheduling, it does have the other features that you would expect in a full-blown autoresponder.
And that works with your Profit Canvas software. So if anyone else has that, I think it will also work. Like if people have things like lead pages or ClickFunnels, will it also work with those kinds of things?
Excuse me. Yes, sorry. Yeah, anywhere you can go ahead and paste this code, it will work. Absolutely.
Cool.
So, you wanted to talk about the OTOs?
I do, and it's kind of funny. It's a little awkward here because I already know what they are. So the first OTO that so as far as Mail It goes, when people get this, they're going to be able to install this on their personal websites. And be able to use it to start uploading unlimited subscribers. There's no limit on that. There's no monthly fee with this. It's a one-time cost. We're not going to tell you what to do with your email list. So I think it's also interesting to point out that there will be people that are going to do evil with this, and we will tell you don't do evil, but we still can't stop you from doing evil. If you want, you can do what you want to do. We're not going to say don't do anything. No one's going to say that, who's going to tell you not to do something.
No, absolutely. I mean, and you're right. There are people that are going to, I 100% guarantee there are people that are going to buy this and they're going to email and they're going to be like, oh, I'm not having good open rates with it. And I'm going to say, well, what are you doing? They're going to say, well, I'm sending out links to Viagra.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, okay, I don't know what to tell you. Okay. Let's think of it this way. The analogy I like to use is if I can go to the Lowe's, I could buy a hammer and throw it through my window. The hammer didn't break my window.
When it comes to setting it up, I think this is an issue that people will consider when it's like there's lots of tech stuff going on here. Like we were talking about some techie terms. Talk to me a little bit about the tutorials.
Yeah, so there are tutorials built in. When I talk techie terms just because I'm a nerdy guy. It doesn't mean that it's complicated. It doesn't even mean that you need to know what those things mean. All you really need to do is follow the tutorials and set it up the way you want. If you want, I can actually share my screen again and show you the setup real quick.
Sure. I just didn't know if you wanted to share that information, IP, like login info and stuff. But go ahead.
So if we go here. You can see this is all you need to fill in, and this is right in the tutorials. You fill in your SMTP host. Now, that's a complicated name. It sounds difficult, like, oh, all it is you put the word mail with a period before your domain name. That's it. Type that in there. So the word mail, period, before your domain name. Your port, which is 99.9% of the time, is going to be port 25. Your username and your password. Anybody who has a site knows what cPanel is. I'm sure you know what cPanel is.
Mhm.
Uh, that's your cPanel login information. Your from email, that's the email address that you're sending from. You make sure that this is a real email address. Your reply to email address, your name, and your bounce email address. That's it. You type that stuff in. Enter in the things that you need for like canned spam. Canned spam requires that you have a physical address at the bottom of all your emails. So I strongly suggest people go ahead and type in their actual physical address. Incidentally, this is not my house. This is one of my rental properties. So if you're coming to see me, I won't be there.
Talk about the bounce tolerance and the throttling.
Okay, so bounce tolerance. When you send out an email, you're going to get bounces. It's always going to happen. I think actually one just happened before when I sent it out. A bounce simply means that the email was sent, and for one reason or another, the server said that email is unavailable. So it could be that somebody signed up and typed their email address wrong. It could be that their inbox is full. It could be that you're not available. It could be that they closed your account. It could be any one of those reasons. Now, of all of those reasons, there's only one time when you want to keep sending them. That one time is when their inbox is full, because maybe it's not going to be full later. Okay, so what you do is you set up a bounce tolerance. You don't want to keep sending emails to bad email addresses. For example, let's just say if you came to one of my squeeze pages and you typed in your email address wrong, that's going to bounce now. Well, I don't want to keep sending that email to that bad email address. So what you do is you enter in a tolerance and you say, okay, look, if it bounces 4 times, we're going to pull it off the list. We're going to assume after 4 tries, it's like calling somebody. You let the phone ring 4 times. After 4 times, you hang up, right?
If the girl doesn't call you back after 4 times of calling her, you probably should give up and just delete the number.
After the 4th message, you should probably give up. She doesn't really want to talk to you anymore. So that's what you do. You can set your bounce tolerance to anything you want. The default is 3. I actually like 4. Some people might do more. Some people might want to be a little more picky. Again, I don't tell you how to run your business. You run it the way you want to with what you're comfortable with. How many times are you going to call the girl before you leave her alone? Okay.
20.
20 times. Okay. Now, the other thing is throttling. So remember I said initially, if you're just getting started, you don't really have a list, you're just building a list, you're going to be fine with a shared hosting. If you're going to build up to have a bigger list, you're going to need a better hosting account, but it shouldn't be a problem because at that point you'll need money. You'll be making money, I should say. Now, if you're using a shared hosting, the shared hosting is going to have a limit on how fast you can send out emails. And the reason is because when you send out emails, it actually is server intensive. It uses a lot of their resources. It uses a lot of the server's memory specifically. So if you're on a shared hosting and you're paying $7, they don't want you using 50% of the server's memory. So they tell you, okay, if you're going to send emails from your shared hosting, send them out at a slow rate so you don't use up all our memory on our server. That's where throttling comes in. You can throttle how fast the emails go out.
And you can check, for everyone watching, you can check with your hosting provider and see what their limits are and what they like with that. And again, I highly recommend once you get to the point where you've got a bigger email list, you're going to want to get your own server so that you can have your own IP and you can literally send as many or as few as you want. It's up to you.
Right. Yeah. If you were just getting started and you were on a dedicated or on a shared hosting, you might send out one email every 6 or 7 or 8 seconds. Mm-hmm. The default is 1 minute every 8 seconds. I have a dedicated hosting at this point because I've got a list that I make decent money from, and it's not even about not wanting to pay, however, it's about not wanting to have them shut me off. That's why I use this. Mm-hmm. So I send out 50 emails every 10 seconds. Honestly, if I wanted to, I could send out 500 every 10 seconds. The plugin can handle it. I just like that number.
Cool. Okay, so that's the first offer that everyone's going to see on the sales page. For everyone watching, a lot of you are going to be watching this early. This is going to launch on the 19th of August. We will have a pre-launch webinar. We'll be showing a lot of this stuff and answering any questions that people have about the software. So you might see a link somewhere around here, depending upon where you're watching this. There are going to be a few OTOs along with this. The first one, and if I miss anything, Brett, feel free to jump in and correct me or add anything in here. But the first one is going to be a training on how to go out there and actually to make money with Mail It. How to go out there and you'll see a lot of the other people out there doing email marketing is they'll say that you can make, what's the number, $1 per month per subscriber is what they
Yeah,
say.
that's the one everybody quotes. $1 per month per subscriber.
And if you look at Brett and I were actually talking before this interview here, and talking about just how well we're kind of giving each other pats on the back with how well we're doing when it comes to affiliate marketing and product creation. And it all comes down to the fact that we have email lists, and we don't just abuse those lists. We're not just sending out any offer that we think of that's going to make money. We're just like, without looking at it, we just like send an email out about it, just trying to make as much money as possible. We've created a relationship with these lists. We know how to, instead of making $1 per month per subscriber, and I actually think a lot of people make less than that. I think that number is actually for a lot of people that's an inflation of how much they're making. We make anywhere from between $3 to $4 to even $5 per month per subscriber, and it's in this OTO one. We're going to be doing an exclusive training where we're going to be teaching you exactly how you can go out there and copy what we're doing when it comes to affiliate marketing, if you want to do your own products, how to build that email list, how to go out there and to build a profitable email list and not do what everyone else is doing. You talked today about myths of email marketing. Like, there's all these myths, all this bad information that's being thrown around by people who aren't actually doing well. Well, if you want to learn from two guys that are actually doing this day in and day out and making a lot of money from email marketing, well, we'll be teaching you exactly how to do that in that training. We're also going to be including an exclusive Facebook group with that. So anyone who joins that, we're going to put you inside of a group where you're going to be able to ask us any questions that you have about email marketing. We're going to be checking that on a daily basis. Knowing Brett, I'm sure he'll be checking it more.
I think that that's really important too. I think the training is going to be something that's going to be really valuable to people, because I think that there are bad people out there in this business.
Yeah,
I think there are some bad people, but I think that there are also people who do bad things just because they don't know better.
True.
And I think that, there's maybe people that are just getting started, they're just building their list, they're just starting their business, and they're doing things wrong. But it's not because they're bad. It's not because they're spammers. It's not because they're jerks. It's because there's so much crap out there that they can't figure out what the right thing is. And that's what I'm hoping that we can do with the OTO training, is like, look, teach you. You and I both started and instantly became successful. Yep. It's not a coincidence. It's because we did the right thing. And that's the goal, is to teach people the right thing. Even the people that are, if you want to be a spammer, it's not going to help you.
we can't help you. We really can't. But we can show you how to build an email list. And of course, we're going to show you how to do it using Mallet, and how to go out there and actually make good money from those subscribers in a way that treats your subscribers like they're actual human beings. So if you want to do it in the right way, then we would love to have you on board there. Plus, during the launch period, we're also going to be giving away developer rights on that OTO one as well. So if you want to go out there and you want to install that on your clients' websites, you want to do that as a service, approach people that have email lists, which most people that are in business, a lot of their business is their email list, and be able to sell this as a service to them and do that. You can also get that as part of the OTO one there. Anything else that I missed on there before we move on to the second one?
No, that's it for the OTO one.
Okay. Trying to take the pressure off you on this one. I had you on the spot for the whole interview. The second OTO, what we're going to be doing is one thing that, if you bought anything from Brett and myself before, you know that we like to do an agency resell license. So what we're going to be doing during the launch period is offering an unlimited resell rights package to Mallet, where you can go out there and you're going to be able to sell this as if it's your own software. Go out there, you're going to have our sales page that we've paid. Literally, if you count up everything that we've done with this launch, and with server costs and sales copy, and if you, not even counting Brett's hours and hours and hours of coding when it comes to this, there's thousands, if not, if you count in Brett's coding, tens of thousands of dollars worth of investment put into this, you're going to be able to go out there and actually resell this like it's your own. You get the sales page. We do the support for you. We've got the membership area for you. What else am I missing there? Like all you have to do is put in a little code. It's one of the easiest ways of doing this, and you put in that little code, and you can start selling it like it's your own, and keeping 100% of the profits.
Yeah, when I got to the thing that started my business, and the thing that got me to do the agency accesses is I started my business by selling my own software. Yeah. That was the catalyst that started my own business. So I wanted to be able to give other people the ability to sell their own software, knowing that they don't have the advantage that I have of being a software developer. And the easiest way to do that was my agency, where I do everything for them: sales page, software itself, sales video. Everything's done, support, updates, it's all done for them. They just put their buy button on my sales page, and they can now sell the product as their own. So basically, you get your own product, but I did all the work for you.
And the last one that we have here is an Ultimate Marketers Bundle, where you're going to get access to 3 of our tools that Brett coded that are for Squeezematic, Video Takeover, and Affiliate Tracks. So these tools are going to allow you, Affiliate Tracks allows you to actually make money and build your email list at the same time. So when you're going out there and you're promoting people as an affiliate, it'll actually take that email and put it onto your email list when people buy through your link. Video Takeover is a tool that allows you to put your own videos over other people's sales pages while you are promoting as an affiliate. This is a tactic that has made both of us tens of thousands of dollars in our affiliate marketing and even product creation. You use this sometimes to do internal promos as well. And Squeezematic is a way of creating different squeeze pages that you can use in order to build your email list there. So we're going to be bringing those down. We've sold those for a lot more. We're going to be putting those all together and giving you a ridiculously low launch pricing for all 3 of those during the launch period. Anything else? I usually say anything else that you want to mention, anything that I missed here, anything that you did want to mention before we wrap it up today.
No, I think we covered everything. It was pretty fun to be on here. I was a little nervous during my interview. I haven't done one of these in a while. I forgot how intimidating they could be sometimes. But I think we covered everything.
Awesome. Brett, thank you so much for coming on the show today. For everyone watching, if you're watching this before the launch, again, you might be able to find a link above or below where you can sign up for that pre-launch webinar. Again, we'll be available to answer any questions that you have about this. I know that you've put a lot of time into creating this, and more importantly, into researching it and figuring out exactly how email marketing works and how to create something. You've done it because you've created something that actually works for your own business, and I think a lot of people are really going to value from having this and having a way of taking control of their email marketing business. And by taking control of their email, they're going to be taking control of their business in general. So thank you so much for coming on the show, and best of luck with our launch.
Thanks, Mike.
I hope you enjoyed the interview today with Brett. If you are interested in picking up Mail It at its lowest price, you're going to want to come back on Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. You're going to be able to grab it at an early bird price, and there's a bunch of bonuses for you as well on the sales page there for you. Also, just so you know, there's going to be an early bird webinar starting at 10 a.m. Eastern. So if you want to be able to get in, see a little bit more of it in action, be able to ask any questions that you might have, or just hang out with us for an hour before it launches. We're also going to be going through and just kind of answering any questions that people have and sharing some more stuff there. Feel free to click the link and sign up for that. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all on Friday.